Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my channel Patel Science Academy. I welcome you in the chapter Inheritance and Variation. Dear students, this is lecture number 8 from this chapter, and the topic you are going to know about is the sex chromosomes. So, what is this chromosomes? Actually, the chromosomes which are responsible for the determination of or for the decision of sex or gender that are known as sex chromosome or allosomes. So actually, dear students, these are those chromosomes which decides the gender of the body, whether that body will be male or female. So that's why this is called sex chromosome. So human being and the other mammals have X and Y chromosomes as a sex chromosome. So dear students, this sex chromosomes either of the pair of the chromosomes that determine whether an individual is male or female. The sex chromosome of a human being and the other mammals are are designated by the scientists as a capital letter X and Y. In the human, sex chromosomes consist of total 23 pairs of the chromosomes. So this is sex chromosomes, and out of this 23 pair, one pair is the pair of sex chromosomes which decides the sex of the person. So dear students, these are the chromosomes which determine or which decides the whether that in next generation will be male or female. So it is totally depend on that sex chromosomes, and remember, it is indicated or designated by the letter in the human being and some other mammals by the X and Y letter. So as you know, in the female human female, two sex chromosomes are XX, and in the human male, two sex chromosomes are X and Y. So this Y chromosome indicates maleness. So this is about the sex chromosomes definition, and I hope you have clear about the you have clear uh, about the chromosomes, sex chromosomes definition. So these are the two sex chromosomes, one is X and another one is Y. X is always greater in length than the Y chromosomes. So you can observe here, this is X chromosome and Y chromosomes. One more time, you will be able to identify which one is X chromosome and which one is Y chromosomes. This is X chromosome and this is Y chromosomes. Dear students, Y chromosome is always smaller and X chromosome is always greater or longer in the size or length. Thereafter, dear students, actually X chromosome is straight. You can see here the left side long chromosome is X chromosome. So this X chromosome is always straight, rod like, and longer than Y chromosome. So you can observe here shorter Y chromosome. X chromosome is metacentric, in which uh, centromere is located at the center, as you can see here. This is X chromosome and this is its centromere. So as this centromere is located in the middle or in the at the center, that's why this X chromosome is metacentric, but this Y chromosome is not metacentric. So which one is this Y chromosomes? As far as the type of the chromosome is concerned, on the basis of the position of the centromere, this centromere is not at the middle, hence it is some distance away from the middle, and that's why it is called acrocentric. So remember here, Y chromosome is acrocentric and X chromosome is always metacentric type of chromosomes. And dear students, this actually Y chromosome is acrocentric and X chromosome is metacentric, but the X chromosome has a large amount of euchromatin. That is, the extended region of the X chromosome is always longer than the Y chromosome, and the smallest amount of the heterochromatin is there. That is highly condensed region. So dear students, this euchromatin part is always large in X chromosome, and heterochromatin part is always small in X chromosomes. So X chromosome is having large part as a euchromatin material and the small part as a heterochromatin material. While the euchromatin has a large amount of a DNA material, uh, it indicates that hence genetically active. So if euchromatin is in a large amount on the X chromosome, so that's why definitely that X chromosome will have large number of DNA. And what about the Y chromosome? Y chromosome has small amount of euchromatin and large amount of heterochromatin, so hence it is genetically less active or inert. So dear students, till now we have seen about the X and Y chromosomes. X chromosome is straight, longer, and having two region number 1 euchromatin, region number 2 heterochromatin. Euchromatin part is extended or large in the X chromosome, and uh, heterochromatin part is smaller in X chromosomes. Because euchromatin part is more in the X chromosome, that's why, because euchromatin has large amount of DNA, that's why it is genetically active, means X chromosome is genetically active. While about Y chromosome, it has a small amount of the euchromatin material and large amount of the heterochromatin material, hence it is genetically less active or inert. Both X and Y chromosomes shows the homologous and non-homologous region. So you can see here the homologous region at the lower side and the non-homologous region at the upper sides. Homologous region, what is this homologous region? Actually the homologous region shows similar genes, and non-homologous region shows dissimilar genes. So you can see here the homologous region as well as the non-homologous region of this X and Y chromosome. This is non-homologous region of X and Y chromosome, and this is homologous region of X and Y chromosomes respectively. So in the homologous region, similar type of genes are there, means here similar type of genes will be there, and in the on the non-homologous region there is non-similar or dissimilar type of gene will be there. The non-homologous region of Y chromosomes, actually dear students, I hope you are observing everything here in the structure of the X and Y chromosome, both parts, which part is longer in size and which part is smaller in size. The homologous region and the non-homologous region. So you can see here the crossing over, actually it occurs only between the homologous region of X and Y chromosome. So this is very important information regarding this crossing over. The crossing over takes place only in the homologous region of the X and Y chromosome. Non-homologous region of the X chromosome is longer, as you can see here, and contain the more gene than that of the non-homologous region of the Y chromosome. So dear students, you can see here this is the non-homologous region of X chromosome and this is the non-homologous region of Y chromosome. So non-homologous region of X chromosome is always longer as compared to the non-homologous region of the Y chromosome, but crossing crossing over process, the mixing of characteristics takes place in the homologous region of X and Y chromosomes. So dear students, X-linked gene are present on the non-homologous region of the X chromosome, while the Y-linked gene are present on the non-homologous region of Y chromosome. So this is again important characteristics about the linkage of the gene that I will explain you later in the next lecture. So dear students, gene linkage is always linked with the non-homologous region. Crossing over takes place in the homologous region. So this is about the X and Y chromosomes, and I hope you have understood about this structure of the X and Y chromosomes. Centromere is at the center in the X chromosome, that's why it is metacentric, and in the Y chromosome it is not at the center, it is some distance away from the center nearer the top. That's why it is not metacentric. Y chromosome is always acrocentric. The homologous region of the X and Y chromosome is almost same, but the non-homologous region of X and Y chromosome is having differences. X chromosomes non-homologous region is always longer than the Y chromosomes. This is about the structure of the X and Y chromosomes. Dear students, now we'll see about the linkage. I'll explain you about linkage now. What is linkage? A recombination frequency of 50% means that the genes are unliked. There are two ways in which genes may be unliked. They may be on a separate chromosome, or they may be far apart from the same chromosome. So this indicates the linkage here. Actually, what is this linkage? It is a known fact that the several genes are present on the chromosomes. You are well familiar with that. Several genes are present on the chromosomes, and as chromosomes are carriers of heredity, as I explained in my previous lecture, chromosomes are the carriers of the heredity. These genes which are present on the chromosomes, they have tendency to be inherited together. So dear students, these genes are inherited together because it is having they have this tendency or ability to inherit together from this chromosome or from the parents into the next generation. So such genes are called linked gene, which are having this tendency to inherit together. So that because they are linked with each other, that's why, and they transmit or inherit together too, that's why they are called linked gene. And this tendency of two or more genes present on the same chromosomes that are inherited together, this tendency is called linkage. So I hope you have understood about this linkage. I'll explain it one more time. The tendency of two or more genes present on the same chromosomes that are inherited together in the next generation, that is called linkage. So dear students, this is about the linkage, which is actually the tendency of the genes, two or more genes which are present on the same chromosomes, and they get transferred or inherited from the parent's body into their next generation together. So this is called linkage. And linkage, dear students, this linkage, it dear students, this linkage is actually discovered in a plants by the Batson and Punnett, and in animal it was discovered by the T.H. Morgan. So linkage, actually it is divided into two types: complete linkage and incomplete linkage. So I'll explain about that complete and incomplete linkage type. So dear student, this genetic linkage describe the way in which two genes that are located close to each other on a chromosomes are often inherited together, as I told you in a previous slide. And in fact the closer two genes are to one another on the chromosome, and greater their chances are of being inherited together or linked. So that are called the link linked gene, or that process is called linkage. So what does gene linkage look like? Notice that A and B are on the same chromosomes. You just consider this example here. Notice that gene A and B are on the same chromosomes. So you can see here in this chromosomes there is gene A and there is gene B, which are located on the same chromosomes. No matter how they look, they line up on the equator during the metaphase 1, and the only possible gametes are those that are resembles the parental type. They are capital A, capital B, and small b in these chromosomes too. So the gamete capital A, small b, and small a, capital B, which are called recombinant, will not show up unless crossing over occurs. So still we won't expect them to be as a common as the parental gamete. So dear students, these are the gene which can travel, which can inherit, which can transmit from the parents into their next generation together, because they are very closely located on the same chromosome, and they have that tendency to transfer or to inherit from the parents body into their offspring body. So that type of gene is called linked gene. So type of linkage, as I told you, there are two type of linkage: complete linkage and incomplete linkage. I'll explain now you about that complete and incomplete linkage. So dear students, crossing over is a rare, so the rare combinations must be the product of the uh, crossing over and the other the most common products present on the parental type. The frequency of crossing over is used and the index of the distance between the genes. And the dear students, you can see here the example of the crossing over, but I am explaining you about the complete linkage and incomplete linkage. So in this complete and incomplete linkage, what is complete linkage? First we'll go for that. Complete linkage, the linked gene which are closely located on the chromosomes and do not separate, no crossing over, and inherit together. So actually these are that linked gene which are very closely located on the chromosome and they do not separate and inherit together. So they are called completely linked gene, means strongly linked gene, and the phenomenon of their inheritance is called complete linkage. So I hope you have understood about complete linkage. In the complete linkage, genes which are present on the chromosome, they do not separate and they inherit together without any change in the next generation. So that gene are called strong linked gene or complete gene, and that process is called complete linkage. Thus, the parental traits are inherited in the offspring. For example, X chromosomes of the Drosophila male shows complete linkage. So remember this thing, in the Drosophila, the X chromosomes in the male body is the example of the chromosome complete linkage. Okay, now fine, let's go for the next, incomplete linkage. Incomplete linkage, dear students, incomplete linkage, the linked gene which are distantly located, means they are not closely located, they are having some distance in between them. So the linked gene which are distantly located on the same chromosomes and have a chances of separation by crossing over, and they are crossing over, they are called incomplete linked gene or weakly linked gene, and the phenomenon of their inheritance is called incomplete linkage. So dear students, I hope you have well understood about the complete and incomplete linkage. In the complete linkage, genes are located closely in the chromosome, on the chromosome, and they do not separate during the inheritance. And in X chromosome on the Drosophila male is the example of that complete linkage. And in incomplete linkage, the genes are not closely located on the same chromosome, they are having some distance, they are distantly located on the same chromosomes, and they do separate during the inheritance. That's why they are called weakly linked gene, and this phenomenon is called incomplete linkage. And thus a new trait occurs in the offspring because of this incomplete linkage, and the example is the Z maize. The color and the shape of the grain shows the incomplete linkage in Z maize plant. ZEAMAYS. The color and the shape of the grains show incomplete linkage. So this is about the complete and incomplete linkage, dear students. Now we'll see the linkage group. What is linkage group? All the genes that are linked together from a linkage group. So all the linked gene in a particular chromosomes, they constitute a linkage group. And the dear students, the number of linkage The number of linkage groups of a particular species corresponds to its haploid number of the chromosomes. And the example is Drosophila has 5 linkage group, and human beings have 24 linkage groups. So dear students, for example, in the Drosophila, melanogaster has 4 linkage groups that corresponds to the 4 pairs of the chromosomes. In the garden pea plant, there are 7 linkage groups and 7 pair of the chromosomes. So this is about the linkage group. The linkage group refers to a group of the genes which are present in one chromosome, and in other words, all those genes which are located in one chromosomes constitute one linkage group, and the number of the linkage group is limited in each individual, and the maximum number of the linkage group is equal to the haploid chromosome number of an organism. So dear student, for example, there are 10 linkage group in the corn, so that's why 2n is equal to 20. 7 linkage in the garden pea plant, that's why 2n is equal to 14. 7 in the barley, so that's why 7 is there, so it will be multiplied by 2. 2n is equal to 14. 4 in Drosophila, that's why 4 into 2 is equal to 8. 2n is equal to 8. And 23 in human being, that's why 2n is equal to 46. So likewise, these are the this is the concept of linkage group, and that's why in the human cell 2n is equal to 46 is there. Now about the sex linkage, dear students, this is the linked or trait shows a distant pattern of inheritance. For example, the father passes sex linked alleles to all their daughters but not to their son. Mother can pass sex linked alleles to both son and daughter. So this is the fact of the sex linkage. In the female, sex linked recessive traits will be expressed only in the homozygous condition, and in contrast to that, any male receiving the recessive allele from his mother will express the trait. So you can see here, if father is affected and mother is carrier for some trait, so this character is transmitting in which offspring or in which kids. You can see here in this cross, father is unaffected and mother is carrier mother. So dear students, from the father, this son will be unaffected, this son will be unaffected, mother will be this daughter will be unaffected, but one of the daughter will be carrier and one of the son will be affected. So this characteristic is coming from this X, which is indicated by this blue color X. So this blue color X is coming from mother sides, that's why this carrier mother's gene is transferring into one of the daughter and one of the son, but daughter is carrier again, which is physically normal and genetically abnormal, and but this one of the son, out of these two son, one will be completely affected because of the mother, because mother is carrier. So this is about the sex linkage. So sex linkage is the phenotypic expression of an allele that is dependent on the gender of the individual and is directly tied to the sex chromosome, and in such cases there is a homogametic sex and the heterogametic sex. So dear student, this is about this sex linkage. The X linkage is more common because the X chromosome is larger. The part of it does not have a homologous section on the Y chromosomes, and therefore only one allele of the gene will be present, and so will always be expressed. So as you can see, homologous region do not carry the sex determining genes, and non-homologous region carrying the sex determining gene and the other gene. So hemophilia is one of the example in which you can see here diagrammatically the healthy cell and the hemophilic cell, in which there is an inability of clotting. Actually, this sex linkage is again divided into uh, complete sex linkage and incomplete sex linkage. So complete sex linkage, it is exhibited by the genes located on the non-homologous region of the X and Y chromosomes, and they inherit together because crossing over doesn't occur in that region. So example of the X-linked trait are hemophilia. So you can see here in this hemophilia the normal blood vessels in the both condition, and the hemorrhage in the both condition, and clotting in the healthy cell takes place, but in the hemophilic cell there is no clotting, because this is the symptoms of the disease hemophilia, which is because of this X infected gene present on the chromosome. Then the another example of the X linked gene or completely sex linkage is red green color blindness. So you can see here in this red green color blindness, because it is the X linked disease. Can you read the numbers? If you are not having X linked gene, you will be able to see the green color and a red color here, and if you'll be unable to see it, so definitely there may be a chances of red green color blindness. I hope you are normal. Then the another example is myopia. It is again the X chromosomes, actually the quality of being short sighted, lack of foresight or intellectual sight. So in the myopia disease, the patient is unable to see properly. This is again X chromosome X linked disease. So we have seen here three examples of the X linked disease. Number 1, hemophilia. Number 2, red green color blindness. Number 3, myopia. Now we'll see the Y linked gene. Y linked genes are here having hypertrichosis. This is the excessive hair growth over and above the normal for the age, sex, race, and race of an individual, in contrast to hirsutism, which is the excess hair growth in the woman following a male distribution pattern. Hypertrichosis is the example of the Y-linked disease, and can develop all over the body or can be isolated to small patches. So you can see here, this is again one of the example of the hypertrichosis, in which the excessive hair on the face and on the ear can be observed here. So this is about this lecture. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please do subscribe my channel Patil Science Academy on the YouTube, and like my video, share with your friends and with all the people who want to learn all the topic from my channel. And yeah, students, please do like my video and press the bell icon to receive my instant notification of new video, and keep watching playlist and all videos from my channel. Thank you very much.